Today I will be making some butterscotch confetti bars. They are like a sister to the just standard confetti bars, which are these. I posted a video, a how-to video last year, so if you want to check it out, you can and make them. These are my traditional ones that I make them every year for my family. But growing up, my relatives would always make the butterscotch version of them. Also, when my friends and I, we were a lot younger and didn't have as many children, we would often do baking exchanges or do Christmas potlucks. And every single time, these butterscotch confetti bars would be in a tin or at a potluck. They are quite popular and quite traditional in Canada, at least in Western Canada where I live. I personally haven't made them in a really long time, only because I don't always have the ingredients on hand versus the traditional confetti bars I always do. Some reasons why you want to give this a try. Number one, it is simple. It's so simple and fast, easy. I always start my Christmas baking off with confetti bars because it's just quick, they're done, they freeze amazingly. So you can do it well ahead of Christmas and know that they're done. You didn't get tired making them, and you can just take them out one by one as you want to enjoy them. So if you're going to do that and you're going to freeze them, which I highly recommend doing, just make sure that when you cut them into your individual portions, put them into a Ziploc bag, leave a tiny little space in between each of them so that when you seal off the bag, they don't freeze together. Here's an example of how I froze the confetti bars I just made earlier today. So you can see there's a little bit of space in between. I sucked out the air so it just brought the bag in together so they will freeze not touching one another, and it just makes it so much easier in the future. All right, let's get on to baking these up. Here are the ingredients and the tools that you will need. You will need a large pot and a large spoon, like an 8-inch pan, square, rectangle, circle, doesn't matter, but an 8-inch, and make sure you grease it well and line it with some parchment paper to make it easier once it's set to remove and cut up. Okay, for the food, 1 bag of butterscotch chips, 1 bag of colorful marshmallows, a half a cup of smooth, not real or natural peanut butter, just smooth, like Skippy peanut butter, and then a 1/4 cup of salted butter. Once your baking dish is lined and ready to go, you're going to take your pot, you're going to put the half or the 1/4 cup of butter into it, half a cup of peanut butter into it, and warm it up till it's totally melted. A high medium will do. All right, and another nice thing about this recipe is that it doesn't have to be 100% exact. Should be close enough, but unlike other kinds of baking and recipes, this one is not as particular. It's not as much of a science. So if you get a little bit over or a little bit under in any of the ingredients, it's not that big of a deal. Be nice sometimes if peanut butter came in a squeezable container. Make it a little easier. All right, so we're just going to stir it so it doesn't burn. And once it's fully combined and like no peanut butter or butter chunks are left, we will turn off the heat and add in the butterscotch chips. All right, the last little bit of butter I think is officially melted. Perfect. All right, turn the heat off. Grab your bag of butterscotch chips. And pour them in. Yummy. Once the chips have melted, we will take the pot fully off the heat. All right, that's good. Let's bring it over. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to let this mixture cool off a little bit before we add the marshmallows, because we don't want them to melt. We want them to stay whole, and it will just look really pretty, you know, like with the butterscotch peanut butter mixture in between all the different marshmallows. So we do not want them to melt. I recommend coming back and stirring it from time to time just to release any trapped heat, and that will make it faster, but altogether it's anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes. It really depends on the temperature of your home. All right, it's cooled enough, so we're gonna add in our marshmallows now. Just gonna fold them in until they're well coated, and then transfer them over to the baking dish. Like so. All right, I'm just gonna grab my spatula now to get the rest. I don't want to leave any of the butterscotch peanut butter mixture behind. It's a very, it's a very important part of this recipe, and it's a delicious part. Scrape it all out. Okay, now we're just going to smooth it into the pan, just pressing ever so lightly, not too hard. We don't want to press down and smush up the marshmallows. Just more of maneuvering it around, smoothing it out so it's not super lopsided. Just like that. That's pretty simple, isn't it? Right? Doesn't take long at all, handful of ingredients. Now the hardest part about this recipe is the next part. This needs to fully chill and set in the fridge, which takes often a couple of hours. That's the longest part of this this recipe, and the hardest part, to have some self-control, to not dig in right away. But you want it nice and firm, completely settled and cooled off before we cut it up and dish it out. It's fully set now, but before I take it out of the pan, what I like to do is place down another piece of parchment paper so that the grease that's on the bottom of the parchment paper here will not get over my counter. I just don't need another mess to clean up. So here we go. Let's take it out. See, it comes out really nice and easy. Okay, isn't that pretty? Ta-da! So nice. Okay, I'm gonna cut it up into some squares and show you what it looks like. And there it is. Isn't that fun? You know what the butterscotch confetti bars remind me of? They remind me of stained glass in an old church, right? So mosaic, pretty. The traditional ones I make, they make, you know, remind me of snowballs. I like it. I like the dark with the white marshmallows, but with the butterscotch, it's a very stained glass kind of vibe. Okay, well that's it. They can now just be enjoyed if you want, or you can freeze them like we've mentioned for the future, or a little 50-50, enjoy a bit now and a bit later. That's what I'm going to be doing for sure. Thank you so much for watching this baking video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I really hope that you give it a try. Maybe you make this every year because it's your family tradition. Let me know down below if it is, or if you're going to give it a go and try it out. I know like all the different flavors are a little bit strange, but trust me when I tell you it works. It's delicious, and I'm very confident it will become a family favorite if it's not already. I'm going to be doing a few more recipe videos in the very near future, so make sure you come back and check in to see what I'm baking up next. Bye everyone.